We're at Lecture 2.4, Gardening and Wellness, and Implications for Therapeutic Horticulture. So far in this module, we have focused on theories and research that make the connection between people and nature. This section presents a few findings on the effect of gardening, specifically on wellness. We will conclude the module by introducing some implications for the field of therapeutic horticulture. In his book, Green Nature, Human Nature, Charles Lewis studies the people-plant connection in detail. You might notice that we have drawn from his book in a number of assigned readings for this class. He reviews various studies that support the efficacy of gardening in improving lives. His premise, as a result of these studies, is that the most intimate relationship between people and plants comes through gardening, where we can physically participate in maintaining green nature. He uses evolutionary principles and environmental psychology to reach his conclusions. When he was in New York City in the 1960s, he participated in the first New York City Housing Authority gardening competition. This competition was created mainly to see about improving ways that one could improve the looks of the various housing complexes in New York City. More than this, he discovered to his surprise that the act of creating a garden positively affected not only the way the environments looked, but it similarly affected the people directly and indirectly involved, and it led to a change in the community. He found that the appeal lay not so much in the plants themselves, but in the feelings of pride, accomplishment, and caring the participants gave the plants. He found that crime was reduced in those areas that participated in the competition. Neighbors picked up trash, and they kept watch to see that the gardens were safe. In exploring how this happened, he found that neighborhood leaders enlisted some of the kids who were so-called troublemakers. These kids then became the gardeners and the ones that were watching over them. Lewis felt the success was directly related to increased self-esteem. This and other studies he reviews support the premise that taking part in nature directly is the most intimate way for a person to experience this emotional connection to plants. The Journal of Therapeutic Horticulture is the bi-yearly publication of the American Horticultural Therapy Association. In just one study published in this journal, they work with a group of people with Alzheimer's disease for a 12-week program. The study was conducted to see if a horticultural therapy program for 12 weeks would delay cognitive deterioration in people with Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's causes gradual decline in mental ability, where a person loses brain function, including short-term memory and ability to learn new information. In more advanced stages, it can cause dramatic changes in behavior, mood, and personality. The study involved people in a nursing home, and they were exposed to a 12-week horticultural therapy program. The control group did normal recreational activities, such as social hour or art, while the study group did gardening. The results showed that horticultural therapy did contribute to the maintenance of memory abilities and attention span, and this had a positive effect on cognitive ability. This is a photo of residents, presumably at a retirement facility, taking part in gardening activities. The photograph has a nice touch where it shows the multi-generational element in gardening, or that's possible in gardening, with a young girl on the left talking to a resident. People both sitting and in wheelchairs are working at these particular raised beds. We'll be talking more about the ways gardening can be done in various settings in the next module. In the publication Neuroscience, scientists found that exposure to friendly soil bacteria could improve mood by boosting the immune system, just as effectively as antidepressant drugs. The way they found this was they tested mice to find that the soil bacteria activated brain neurons that produced serotonin. That's a brief summary of reviews on gardening and health. More research is needed, and more research exists, as you will see when you start to look through the research articles. So we'll here summarize some of the implications from the research and the theories. Environmentally, from a perspective of environmental psychology, we have found that access to green spaces is important to human health. If direct access is not possible, visual access to the outside, or even views of nature, is beneficial. It has been found that attention fatigue and other cognitive processes, mental health, physical health, and recovery from illness or surgery can all be improved through some connection to nature. We know through evolutionary principles, and specifically evolutionary psychology, that there exists an emotional bond between people and plants. It has been found that direct contact with plants provides the most intimate way to experience this emotional bond. From an ecological psychology perspective, we have found that advancing a positive interrelationship between people and plants can foster both human sustainability and planet sustainability. This ends Lecture 2.4. There is no assigned reading or exercise connected to this specific lecture. Instead, you will have a discussion forum assignment as described on the next slide. The module will conclude with a quiz. This slide describes the discussion board assignment. Go to the following link to see a number of research studies on the people-plant connection. Pick an original study from this list or find a study of your own choosing. After reading the study, summarize it on the discussion forum in 100 to 250 words and include the following points: the name of the study, the authors, the date of publication, and where it was published, if in a journal. Give a brief summary of the purpose, methods, and outcome of the study. Talk about how these findings validate, or if they fail to validate, the significance of nature and our plants in people's lives. After posting your summary, respond to 3 other posts in 25 to 50 words. This interchange will help you learn and understand much more than what your specific research has taught you. This ends the lecture for Module 2.